All right, so I believe some of you are really new. I don't know if you're new to all this concepts and ideas. If you are, maybe you can share in the chat. 222. If you are new and this is your definitely your very first time hearing about this, maybe you can share in the chat. I'm new, or yes, I'm still learning, and all that, and I can completely understand where you are and your position, because I'm still new also. Just to be honest with you, I've only started to be adopting plant-based only for the past couple of years. Okay, since last year. Well, now it's 2 years from now. So 2020 has been gone. So I started in 2019, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit more right now. I'll be sharing a little bit about my journey and what I faced through in the when I started this. Um, uh, when I started my journey into plant-based, and kind of like the challenges that I went through. Okay, so let me just get into it. Sorry if those who are not on mute, can you kindly mute yourselves to minimize any interruption as we go through? Okay. Maybe the organizer can help as well. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I have been active. Sorry. Yeah, feedback. Hello? Sorry, do you hear the feedback? Miza?
Yes, Mr. Faisal.
Sorry, I'm hearing very bad feedback.
Yeah. Huh?
Let me try without the video. Is this better? Right, no more feedback, right? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Raj, can you kindly mute your mic? I can't find the controls, or MC.
Okay.
Yes, I already told him he's muting it.
Okay, all right.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, sorry for the interruption. All right, so where was I? So I've been very active in various kind of sports, and I eventually also completed a marathon. I think that was a once in a lifetime achievement, and this was really thanks to together. I ran this marathon with my wife, and without her, I don't think I would have completed it. So thanks to her, and definitely. So through our journey over the being involved in the wellness industry for the past decade over, we decided to also get educated ourselves and get more serious into it, and that's why you see this graduation picture where we did a diploma in nutrition sciences, nutrition studies, and kind of like get started into starting up a community into wellness in our Facebook on Amazingly Fit, and getting more serious and going into more active, proactive advocacy campaigns and activities with various organizations. And a particular organization that we have been working very closely and more involved with recently has been the Malaysian Vegetarian Society. If you see on the bottom picture here, the very handsome Indian gentleman here is Mr. Raj, who is the current president of the Malaysian Vegetarian Society. And a big thanks and shout out to Mr. Raj and his team, together with MVS. Myself and my wife Aina has been able to really do our bit into spreading the word of how cool this plant-based movement is about, and how it has impacted our lives personally, and our family, and our loved ones, and our communities around us. And we hope to see more to go through it as well. So kind of like gonna be going through some what we or myself my personal experiences of how I went through the plant-based transition and the journeys I went through to go plant-based. Okay, so I'll just get straight into it. Number one, I guess, is actually not making a decision. Okay, so I don't know if this surprises you or if you understand what I mean here, just looking at the title. But just to give you some context, actually, I was the last one in my immediate family to go plant-based. All right, so actually, to be honest with you, my wife, Aina, Dr. Aina, she actually started to go plant-based first, and this was triggered due also in part of her background and being a qualified veterinary doctor, and but is all more for her love of animals and so forth, and so she had high compassion for them and all that, and of course the other element is of course is into health and being to be in wellness as well. So she started into looking into how she can achieve that, and that's where the plant-based kind of like idea was very relevant for her.
It's not.
And then, so for me, myself, I think what really got me interested was, of course, being in the family and eating together with my wife and kids, where I was the only one trying not to eat plant-based or healthy food every single day. So kind of like eased into it naturally, and eventually, how I made it into a serious decision was when I started to look into some literature. So like how Dr. Vaiti and Jess was mentioning earlier, because we have been getting more educated, feeding ourselves with all the knowledge, reading some books into reversing heart disease, even the China study by Colin Campbell, and all these studies and these published books, and these are reputable literature and research that's been put into, and so it gave us more proof that this is definitely the way to go in terms of to improve our own health and to improve the ones around us as well. And thanks to the past decade or so, I believe there's been a lot of really good documentaries and a lot of movies that have been able to illustrate this further. And I believe dengan the student audience that we have here today, where most of you are still young and still studying and all that, this can be more exciting for you to go through rather than the books earlier. So if visual presentations is more appealing, then definitely check out the videos first. I would highly encourage you to do so. If you have Netflix, definitely watch The Game Changers if you haven't done so. On YouTube, you can find this other one that I really liked, which was eye-opening to me, which was Cowspiracy, and What the Health. You can find these on YouTube as well, and it really gave me another big perspective of how our food choices can actually impact the environment. And to me, that was one of the main reasons I got really serious about this plant-based, because it is my contribution to the environment, and on a personal level, I can do it by just choosing the kind of foods that we eat. So if you want to contribute your little bit on how you can preserve the environment, protect the planet, and kind of like contribute towards climate change, this is by far the easiest way that you can do so without breaking the bank. All right. So you can find out more by looking at these videos. And yeah, like what Dr. Jessreen was saying as well, Fork Over Knives was also one of the first eye openers that got me thinking into what this is all about. And these are some other very good documentaries that I would highly recommend as well. This really new one, Kiss the Ground, really opened my eyes about what the agriculture industry is going through, especially on the soil health that we have nowadays, and how it has impacted the food that we eat, and how it's very important that we do get this information. When we get ourselves educated and learn more about it, then we can appreciate what we put into our mouths and feed our family and so forth, and we can make a more educated guess. I guess when we grew up in our environment and with our families, we learn different things about food and the importance of food and how it revolves. Mungkin kita selalu dengar jangan bazirkan makanan kan, biasalah kan, orang Melayu kita dia biasa cakap macam tu. But then when you think of it in a different way, if it's for your health, if you already have a mountain full of food, you still don't want to finish it because it's going to be detrimental to your health. So when you make the right choices and you understand more about these things, you can make a more informed decision on how you go about your daily lives into choosing your food. So definitely get yourself educated and finding your own reasons. So Dr. Vaiti was showing the various reasons that other people do it. You need to find your strong reason why you want to do it. So that was my first challenge. And the next one, I guess, was despite having a family who's already being plant-based and primarily plant-based, not eating any of the meats or eggs or dairy and so forth, but then I still go to work every day. I mean, like, and exposed to all the people who are not eating plant-based. So memang tak ada gang lah kan. So initially memang it was hard for me to find a clique or a group of people who would be willing to do what I wanted to try to do. But then that's what led me to this movement. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's very similar to what UiTM is proposing to do with their challenge on the 7-day plant-based diet challenge. So kebetulan it happens to be in January where there's this other movement called Veganuary. So I stumbled upon this last in 2019, and that's what got me started really to commit myself and pledging whole month doing plant-based after learning about what plant-based can do to my health and learning that hey, there's nothing when we go plant-based, we're not nutrient deficient. We will have enough protein in our foods because we've always been taught that we need to get protein from meat. I think that's why we are always scared to omit all the meats from our diet, right? Do you agree with me or not? If you do agree, maybe you can share in the chat. But yeah, that was one of my misconceptions early on. So when I learned more about it and understand more of it, and so since Veganuary was there, and the good thing about Veganuary is not just that they have all these programs, they have all the resources that we can find out and learn more about it. They have all these recipes. So if you're cooking and you like cooking, then you may want to check out these recipes as well. But of course, these kind of programs, especially from the West, are more Western style diets and food, which may be a bit bland. Okay, so but if you want our Malaysian, Asian heritage kind of foods, there's also a lot of resources nowadays, and that's why I would highly encourage you to also check out my Veganuary. So this is